All right, so guys, like I said, if you're on YouTube or Twitch, doesn't matter. Just throw something in the chat. I'll answer it on both sides because I've gotten it finally paired up that way. You guys should be able to see everything on your own side of things. It should relay the chats back and forth. Just so we can see here, we are on the here. So we talked a little bit about the different macros that you can do in Roll20 today for today's video earlier today, and I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a another little bit of a crash course. If you guys didn't see that video, there is it's on the channel, but I just wanted to share with you guys one of them. So unless you have a pro account, doing group initiative as far as like doing them all and having them automatically put in the turn order is a little bit difficult. So I actually have a group initiative macro that I use for my players, and as you can see, it automatically just pops it over here as we're going. So it's really nice, it's really handy, and as you can see, if you look at the different numbers here, it actually has what they rolled on their dice plus their modifier. And to see this macro, it's actually this one, and you can actually use this for anything. So you can use it for group perception checks. You can use, or you can use passive perception, up to you. You can use it for group perception, group insight, all those kinds of different things. If you want to have an active check. Now, obviously, you can use passive perception if you really want to, but I like to use it as like I said, I like to use the active perception checks because it adds a little bit more randomness than just necessarily like passives. Because everyone's passive for the most part is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like, I mean, it depends on your group, but there's usually at least one person with a passive perception, at least at the level that I'm using, level 5. That's usually in and around probably the +4 modifier. So you're talking like a passive of 14. So that's not bad, but like even still, there are going to be creatures and stuff like that that are making active stealth checks against those that are probably going to win. So the opportunity for someone who normally wouldn't be perceptive of certain things is actually kind of really nice to be able to utilize. So I'm going to throw that one in the chat here in a second once I can get it, once I can find the one I want. I've already got it put out so that way I don't have to change all the names and stuff like that. So that way you can just plug in the names that you want to use for your game. And the only thing you have to do, and I'll show you guys that over here as well, when you look at this macro for group initiative, the only thing you have to change is that you can add this plus here. If they don't have a bonus, you'll see, for example, Smash here, he doesn't have a bonus, so he's just rolling a d20. But if you have a bonus, just put in that +4 next to the 1d20, and that'll add in the modifier for you. So give me 1 second, and I'll throw that macro into the chat for you guys so you guys can have it. I've got some other ones too, but just let me know if you want to know any more about those, because obviously I like using some of these macros because it allows me to take the focus on off of worrying about like what's happening on the computer screen. It lets me worry about the game. Sometimes it can be a little bit busy trying to get as far as different button presses and stuff like that when you're trying to utilize Roll20. So sometimes actually having those little macros can be a little bit helpful, so you don't have to worry so much about like which little spot or just collecting all the initiatives from everybody. Depends on what you want to do. Some groups like to have the just pull this out here. Some groups really like to have the full on like rolling experience for everything, but then I also find that depending on your situation, if you want there to be some tension, you might want to just do the like self-roll behind the screen so that way players don't know, but you can do that with this one button click, which is really nice. So I'm going to put that in here. Right now it says group perception for the name, but you can change the name to group initiative, group insight, group whatever you need it to be. You can put that in there and then just replace the names with obviously the names of your player characters. Now, keep in mind you'll want to replace the names here. You can utilize, luckily with this macro, you can just use your player character's player character name instead of their actual personal name. If you use a lot of the whisper ones for say any of the rollers or any of the other stuff that I'll show you here in a second, you're gonna need to actually need to, how do I want to put this? You're going to actually need to put the profile name of your player character, not the player character name of your player character. So a good example of this is some of the whisper macros I have down here at the bottom. So I have Whisper Zuli here, and I can message him and stuff like that. I can say for the stream, and it'll pop it right into the macro for me, and it'll say to Zuli for the stream, and it's only going to whisper that to him personally. Now, the one thing about that is that when you go into this whisper, macro, you can see it says W/W, which is the whisper prompt, the player character's profile name. Then you'll see this question mark, which is that prompt to bring a box up, and then this is the message that's within that box. So if we test the macro again, you can see message question mark. That's what's in this little bubble here. But you're gonna have to put in the player's whatever they use for their profile name. So whatever this name down here. So mine says the blue collar DM. If somebody wanted to whisper to me, if I was a player character, they would have to put whisper the blue collar DM. Luckily, because I'm the GM in this particular, or the DM, and this is a Dungeons and Dragons game, I'm actually able to just actually have it say whisper GM for everything for me, because I'll be able to see it. But if you aren't the DM or the GM, then you're going to need to actually put in the profile names of the people you're trying to whisper to. And I'll include that in the chat as well, just so you guys can have it. I've used a lot of these before, and I've shown a couple of these, but I think we have a little bit more viewership now, so I want to show, kind of re-go over these and stuff like that for anybody that's missed any of this. Just replace, I'm going to put in the one I just showed you, but just replace name with whatever the player character is that you want to whisper to, their profile name, not their actual player character name. If their player character name's the same, then great. That's the good example with my guy Zuli, but some of my player characters actually haven't changed their profile name because they aren't usual normal Roll20 users. So who do we have online here today? Who's here in the chat? And if you are online, what is your favorite monster and why in Dungeons and Dragons? Or Pathfinder, or whatever you guys want. All right. Is there anyone out there? Because I'd be more than happy to just make this a giant working on my personal game on Saturdays, but I'd rather have a good dialogue between you guys, because if you guys have questions, I want to answer them here for you. Let's see. My favorite monster, I would say, so I have a favorite low-level monster that I like to talk about, and it's actually, I love kobolds, and hear me out. The reason why I like kobolds is because they're kind of like interesting little characters. Now, you can utilize them in a lot of different ways. You can actually utilize them as like little, kind of in the same vein as goblins, but I like to think that kobolds are a little bit thriftier. Just because they usually work in packs, so they usually make a lot of traps, kind of like goblins do, but their traps are a little bit more rudimentary, a little bit more haphazard, and they also are like can be very, very random, which I really like. I like that kobolds can be like kind of like the silliest kind of monster you can think of, especially for low-level characters. For high characters or high-level characters, I mean, I love hags. I mean, it's not even really a high-level character, but I love hags. I do love... Because, I mean, hags are fun because you can play off of them and they can kind of be like very mysterious and, you know, make some deals with your player characters and kind of utilize them as kind of having to actually interact with them in order to get to the next piece of a story arc and stuff like that, but then having that kind of like work against the players. I like the way hags can kind of manipulate situations and can be really fun to play with as a DM personally. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Why don't I go over to my OneNote, actually? Or actually, let's go to my just chatting first. Because we're just going to chat for a little while here while we're on the YouTube side of things. Trying to think of something else. There are a lot of really fun ones. I'll look at my OneNote to see what I have here, because I've been like messing around a lot. I like the Remoraz is fun. It's not anything really that monumental or anything like that, but it's just kind of fun. I played with a Nilbog for a while with my characters at one point. That was a ball and a half, honestly. It was actually really one of the funniest encounters I've ever utilized that with, because our player characters encountered it after defeating like a humongous wave of goblins, and it was fun to kind of play with that, just like that kind of monster, because like I played it out as something that the player characters end up allying with him, which is kind of like what I almost intended. I kind of made him a little bit pathetic, but I like gave him like a New York style like stereotypical accent, and it was a lot of fun to play with as a DM, because the player characters never really trusted him, but they liked him enough that like they kept him on as like a squire for a while, and he played out really funny, and it was fun to kind of see that interaction, stuff like that. But then not only that, when they decided that like maybe we should kill this guy because he seems like he's a bad dude, maybe, I mean, he's a goblin, he must be a bad dude. They would try to attack him, and then they would like have that issue with like the Nilbog's charisma, the DC, keeping them from actually letting them hit them, which was always really funny, because they wanted to get rid of him, but they tried to kill him, they couldn't kill him, and then like even the couple times that he almost died, like he didn't die because he was able to use that Nilbogism to keep himself from that turn of fortune or whatever it's called, to kind of keep himself alive and stuff like that. So every time he like got into danger, he never really died, which was always really funny. Sorry if my camera just went crazy right there. It's a little fuzzy right now too, it looks like. There we go. But it was really funny because he was able to kind of like not only have some staying power in the campaign, because he was able to stay alive, just because of the Nilbogism trait, but then they never really discerned like what he was. They could tell he could cast spells, they could tell he could do some weird things, but they never actually pinned down what he actually was, which was a lot of fun to play with. I kind of like goofy monsters to an extent, especially ones that I can kind of flex and utilize as NPCs too. Those are a lot of fun for me to kind of play with. I think of another good one that I've played with. There's so many good ones. Higher levels, I'm trying to think of something good for higher levels. I haven't, if you're like anybody that's played games like D&D and stuff like that for a while, sometimes getting to higher levels is really difficult, because you usually don't stay together long enough to get to like level 20. Aboleths are cool. I like the flavor. I mean, I love the classic Mind Flayer too. I love that flavor of the psionics, but I haven't really ever. I want to play with them a little bit. I want to actually see if I can have my player characters encounter them a little bit, because it'd be kind of fun to play with that little kind of arc, like playing with a Mind Flayer society trying to rise back up, and in turn, or getting into a little bit of my campaign prep here, utilizing them to kind of like as like a tool for my big bad evil guy to kind of distract the player characters while they go out and try to find all the different keys to unlock a lich from the past. Spoilers for anybody who actually plays my game, but they are on here. They don't follow me on Twitch, which is lucky, or on YouTube, because it actually says in here that I'm doing campaign prepping, so they probably shouldn't be watching. Oh, let's see. We're actually going to keep these streams open from now on both sides until Twitch says I can't do so anymore. Right now, I'm not anywhere near close to being in danger of that, but we're going to leave them open on both sides just for the time being. All right, I think we're gonna go over to OneNote because we're gonna do a little bit of prepping over here. So we got some stuff that's going on here. I've been trying to think about like how I want to play out. I need to, now that I made a random encounter table, I probably should roll on it in case that we actually run into those things. So here is our random encounter table from our previous session. The things that are yellowed out are actually things that we've already encountered with our player characters here. So we're just gonna actually zoom out so we can see it a little bit better. And I'm thinking about a couple things. I'm thinking about, we're gonna first of all roll on these tables to figure out what we have here. So that way we can actually take it over to our Roll20 and actually put in like how many of these things are. Just because I don't wanna have to worry about trying to make it on the fly. So we're just gonna do that over on Roll22. So first one we have is we already did a lot of these are already in here. So this mage will be easy to take. I mean, I'll put them on the map, but if they decide to fight them, it's going to be interesting. We got the Griffin on the map already. We got the Revenant on the map. We don't really have to worry about this egg. And then, so we have these 1d6 plus 2 Yetis. So we're going to roll 1d6. So we're going to do that. We're going to come back over to the, oh, hold on. We're going to come back over to the Roll20 capture. And this is actually a window capture of my internet. And we're actually going to go roll 1d6. 4. Okay, so we're gonna come back over here. So I've got my Yetis here. And am I on the DM layer? I'm not. So now we're gonna add 4 of these guys. So we're just gonna copy, and we're gonna paste, and we're gonna paste. There we go. Now I have my Yetis. Boom. That was easy. And we'll kind of mix them up a little bit. I want to make sure they're still on a tile. And we'll vary it up a little bit. We'll actually put some over here. And I'm going to leave some of these hidden. Like I'm going to leave these 2 guys hidden. And actually maybe I'll put them in this like cave, even though it's like kind of on the, it's not really on the map. I mean, it is on the map, but it's not on the map kind of thing. But I'm going to put these Yetis over here so that way my player characters have something a little bit more to worry about. So they're going to just think, oh, there's like 4 Yetis over here. But really it's actually more than that, which will be fun to kind of play with the characters. So we got the Yetis done. Now, the next one, if we remember, we got some of these kobolds. So we got the winged kobolds, the inventors, and the dragon shields. I don't even have the kobolds on the map, which is actually kind of important to do. But I think I'm going to actually put them on a different map. So I'm going to have to actually go out and look for one while we're in here. So we'll do that together. See if we can find an airship that's easy to find on either 2-minute tabletop, or we'll just kind of do a Google search and see if we can find something. Again, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat, please. And I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you don't have any questions and you just like hearing me talk, that's great too. I appreciate it. But let's see if we can find something here. So we also got to get 1d4 frost giants too. So actually, let's do that. I'm gonna have to go find some. So give me a brief moment. I'm actually gonna have to put it on I haven't even put it in my monster manual on my OneNote, which is kind of important to do. Probably would be important, right? Actually, so you can see it, let's go over there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually link to here. So if you've actually seen any of copy link to paragraph. So if you've seen any of the videos in the past, I like using OneNote. Specifically because it allows you to link between pages and it allows you to kind of bounce back and forth. So if you're in the middle of an encounter but you need to refer back to your encounter table or you need to go somewhere else, you can link pages together so you can actually go back and forth, and it'll allow you to kind of be able to keep up with things on the fly. So I've seen people use Fantasy Grounds offline. I've seen a couple other different methods, but I like this because I have the flexibility to kind of go back and forth, and I have all these different tabs that I can use. And I think that it makes my life easier, honestly. That's my personal opinion. You can have your own opinion. I'm totally fine with that. But I like having the flexibility to be able to jump back and forth. Frost Giants. And then I'm going to actually put that link to that paragraph here. So we can actually jump back to 1d4 Frost Giants. And then we're going to copy a link to this page in particular. We're going to click, copy link page. We're going to actually click on here. We're going to jump back over here. We're going to replace Frost Giants with the text Frost Giants. And let me see if I can get the... Oh, okay. It's going to pop back up again. Let's go back. Here we go. This is what I want. 1d4 Frost Giants. So we can jump back over here. I'm going to actually delete the giant, the S on there, but it's still going to let me to link back and forth. So now if I want to go back to my random encounter table as I'm playing in my game, I can do that. It makes my life a lot easier. OneNote's just a really great tool to use as the Dungeon Master, whether you're playing online or offline, personally. The interfaces that are utilized right now via Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, I'm hoping D&D Beyond makes one in the future, because I'd like to see what they have to contribute to the online tabletop playing space, the virtual tabletops. But having this flexibility to kind of jump back and forth is amazing. So now we have that, and so I'm going to go back to Frost Giants here. I'm going to find myself the staff block really quick here. Have it here somewhere. I just gotta throw it over there so I can have it in my notes, because I don't have everything saved in my bestiary yet. I kind of have it all on different documents and stuff like that. So we're just gonna jump over here. Frost Giant. And then I'm also gonna get the token while we're at it too, so we can actually put it on our map on Roll20's side of things. Give me a little bit of time here. But in the meantime, if you guys have a favorite monster, please let me know what it is, because like I was saying, I've got some favorites, especially for low levels. I love kobolds and I love the Nilbog. Those are really fun for me to kind of role play out as a dungeon master too, just because they're just interesting. They're actually just really fun to play with, personally, because you can kind of play on that kind of sporadic behavior and stuff like that with the kobolds. And then with the Nilbog, it's just like, it's just a fun one to play with, just because they have that Nilbogism. You can make them not necessarily like a evil NPC. You can just make them a Nilbog that's just like goes crazy and is kind of random. So I kind of like that. So here's our Frost Giant. Comes out of the monster manual. I have the monster manual, but it's just easier to have this in the OneNote capture, or in the OneNote, just so that way I can refer to it later on down the line and actually move it over here so I can actually read it. Everything's here. And you can see they have some different variants here. We have the weighted net and stuff like that we can utilize. We'll see if I use that, but we'll just play with that idea. Actually, it looks really interesting. But and then let me see if I can grab the token real fast. And perfect. And then we're gonna jump back over to Roll20 here. And we're going to upload that image real fast. And like I said, I'm actually going to stay in YouTube and Twitch until Twitch affiliates me or something like that, which then I'll have to, pick and choose when I do stuff. But for right now, I'm going to stay streaming on both, because I think it serves better just for the for you guys, and then not only that, it just it helps with the just exposure for just the channel, because I want this to spread. I want you guys to get something out of this. I don't want this to just be like me. I don't want this to feel like it's me trying to just I don't know the best way to put it. I want to be able to kind of give you guys the best experience, be able to kind of communicate with everyone what their concerns are and talk about those things. And I feel like that until I'm forced to not be able to stream on both platforms, I'm going to stream on both platforms for you guys, because you guys, I just want to be there as a resource and be available for you guys. It just makes no sense for me. Frost Giants, controlled by this guy. We're going to let them... No, we're not going to let them see anything. Forget them. And then we got a speed for these guys of 40 feet. So I like to use speed at the top bar. I like to use AC as the next bar. And then I like to use their health as the next bar. So we're just going to put one, how much it is for right now as the average hit points for this guy. We're going to save him. And then we're going to copy him however many times we need to copy him. So it looks like on my Let's see if I can go back here. We get 1d4 of them. So we're going to come back to our little dice roller here. We're going to roll a d4. And we'll see how many we get. It'd be funny if we got 4. We got 1. So we got 1 frost giant wandering around. And maybe we'll just say he's a loner. We'll find something. Maybe our player characters will communicate with him. We'll see. But maybe they won't. Maybe they'll try to avoid him as best they can. We'll leave him on the GM layer as well. Just makes our life easier to have that. And then we need all of those kobolds. So I'm going to see if I can't find... I might have to play around with I want to make them actually white. I don't want them to just be like a kobold token that's not the right color. So we're going to try and figure that out. So let me see if I can find my winged kobolds from the monster manual. Well, they don't. There's not even really a great token for them. Let's snippet this one out. I like the snipping tool too for one note because then it just makes my monster manual more organized, personally. But like I said, if you have any questions, make sure you throw them in the chat. I'd love to answer a lot of them. Because again, I'm a resource for you guys. I'm not just here for my own enjoyment here. So we're gonna copy a link to this paragraph, and then we're gonna go and I'm just gonna click on Yetis for now, just so I can get over here. But we're gonna put winged kobolds. We're gonna put a link to that here, and then we're gonna take a link to this page like we did before. We're gonna go back here. I'm actually gonna put white winged kobolds, and we're going to resize this to the right size. So now we can go back to white kobolds. We can see over here we have the link to this paragraph. I'm actually going to bring this back here a little bit, but I want this airship crash here, so we can jump back over here. It makes our life easier. Now we need kobold inventors, so let me go find the stat block for kobold inventor. Oh wait, I need to put I need to put my snippet over here first. So let's do that. So we'll go back to our winged kobold. There's our winged kobold. Boom. Then we're gonna make a new one. We're gonna put in kobold inventor. We're gonna copy the link to this page as well. See what I mean? Like if you can set this all up, then when you actually are playing your game, just makes your life a lot easier. Then you can paste it in there. We can change the size of this to be what we want it to be. Oops. I want the whole thing to be 20, not just part of it. Boom. Kobold inventors. Then we can copy the link to here. Copy the link to paragraph, go back to kobold inventors. Paste it in here. Now we can come back over here whenever we need to. The airship crash, we can see that right here. Boom. So let's go find that kobold inventor stat block. All right, we got a better one for this one. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I got a couple of different things we can do, so we'll figure this out. I wanna make these guys actually white. A lot of the, oops, I need a new one. A lot of the tokens that I have, the kobolds are all red because that's what they stereotypically are in a lot of places, but I don't want that, so we're gonna have to play with this a little bit. Boom, there's our kobold inventor. Oops, let's get out of there. No, I don't want it to be in there. There we go, now it's where I want it. Bowl's Guide to Monsters, I have that as well. Makes my life easier when I can just do that. And then I need kobold, what was the other one I needed? We need Kobold Dragon Shields. So let's go find our Kobold Dragon Shields. And again, most of these guys are already just red, so I'm gonna have to find a way to. I have some video editing software that I can change the color on them, so it'll be a little. I'll have to do that while we're doing this at the same time. So, and Dragon Shields are also from Vol's Guide to Monsters. So we're gonna make another new page. Now my player characters are level 5. But I'm not terribly worried about that, and I'll tell you why. So we're gonna have a lot of them, first of all. So we have, like, I think we said, like, what, 3d6 of them? If we'll go back to the inventor one. Actually, let's copy a link to the dragon shield first. Then we'll go back here. So you have 3d6 of them. So I'm not terribly worried about, let me just make this the right size. I'm not terribly worried about them getting, like, slaughtered. I'm fine with that. I'm not really that concerned about that. But what I'd like to see happen, copy link to paragraph, come back over here, bang, bang, boom. But what I like to see happen is I like to see maybe some sort of role-playing moment. Now my characters could just, like, go right through them. Who cares? But I'd like to see a little bit of a role-playing stint to this. Maybe they'll, and especially if I have 3d6 of each, it might give them some pause. I mean, they're not going to see them all at once, but be nice if they could have a little bit of a. Be nice if there was some context. So we can go to Airship Crash. Boom. Now we have everything here, and we have everything all set for that. So now we're gonna have to go find ourselves a map. I like using 2-minute tabletop. They're doing a lot of great things. Oh, I need to get my tokens. Duh. So let me get my tokens. Sorry, I'm a little scrambled, but I'm gonna try and get my tokens here first. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of playing around with these. Looks like all of them. Maybe I might have to do something with all. I'm gonna have to do something with all of them to make them white, first of all, but also because there's not a really good token to utilize. Unfortunately, they all just kind of look. They're all just red, and we're just gonna have to do it that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that right now. So we're gonna go back over to Roll20 really fast, or actually let's do the talk. Let's just go to talk because I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff in the background, and you don't necessarily need to see my mouse like clicking around for no reason. But like I said, kobolds are fun. I like the randomness of them. They're just like really fun. Sorry if you just blew up. I like the randomness of them. I just like how they play. It's just a lot of fun. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open these up. I actually might throw them into my Roll20 before changing the color on them, just so I have just regular stock kobolds ready to go if I ever need them. But I have to open these guys up first and play around with them. So let's do this. We're going to change the file type. It's not going to work. There's only certain kind of file types that Roll20 likes, and I like using them as specifically as PNGs, or just better ones to throw in there, because then if they have an alpha channel, which is basically just no background, it won't actually pop it up as a square. It'll make that kind of nice circle that you're seeing when I throw them on there. So let's see. Like I said, I'm doing this all in the background, but I'll show you guys when I'm done. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Throw them in the chat there. I'll stop whatever I'm doing, and we'll go back to doing whatever you guys need me to do. Yeah. I'm having a good day, actually. Feeling very fresh. And And then we're gonna alter the colors. Oops. I'm gonna bring the blue up a bit. Can I change? Does that help? No. Maybe we bring this up. Nah, just make some blue. Okay, cancel. This one's gonna be fun to play with. Nope, that's not gonna work. I'll play with the hues a bit. Okay, we can make them blue. I can make them blue. I think I can take away the color of them. Yeah, that's the hard part is like, I'm not the best photo editor in the world. So making things exactly the way I want them is kind of tough. Actually, let me see if I can't. That might work. It's all right. It's the closest I think I'm gonna get, so. I'm gonna write that down. 26, 31, 30, 35. Okay. So I'll show you guys what I mean here in a second. Okay. Now we're gonna do this one. Export as white. Export. Keep the background, everything like the way it is. And then gonna be at the bottom because it's got W. But an easy way to make the tokens, especially if you got like things you're gonna make white ones and stuff like that, is just change the hues and stuff like that in a simple kind of in a simple video editing software. So I'll show you that right now. We'll switch over to Roll20 real fast. I gotta do 2 more of these. But you can see here that I've kind of played around with the hues on this one. So here's the regular Kobold Dragon Shield, but as you can see, I've done enough that I can make this Kobold Dragon Shield white. White enough, at least. I mean, it's like it's still got some hues of blue, but I mean, it's the closest I'm gonna be able to get right now. Because if I just take away all the color, everything's just gonna be in black and white, and I don't really want that. I want there to be some color a little bit. So that's good enough for me. But then let me do the other ones here while we're playing around. Come on. All right, we're gonna do this one too. So I'm gonna do everything like, I'm gonna do both. Like we were talking about. I'm gonna make both colors, and then later on I can change them if I get like blue kobolds, if I get gold kobolds, I can play around with all that. Blue, green, whatever the case may be. And then we're gonna go to hue chroma, and we're gonna change this to -126, -31. And then this one's going to be 38. Right. Hey, that looks pretty good. My thought processes were correct. White Kobold Inventor. Boom. And then one more to do. Just a regular stock kobold. I mean, it's technically supposed to be a winged kobold, but it just looks like a regular kobold because it's got the same token. And this one that I have. I might try to find another one. We'll see. I might use a different token for our regular normal kobolds, but And then colors, let's change the colors again. Nope, come on, select all that. Negative 126, bang. Negative 31, and 38. And we'll export these as white. Winged kobolds. Export. All right, now I can get rid of my video editing software. That way, make my life a little bit easier. And make our computer not have to work so hard. And then we'll go back over to Roll20. And let's upload some more of these guys. So we're gonna choose, let's upload, let's just upload upload our Kobold Inventor. Let's upload our Winged Kobold, even though this is just a regular Kobold picture. Let's upload and then let's upload the white versions. And then once that's all done, open back up monsters, and we'll throw our Kobold Inventor, Winged Kobold, maybe, there we go. And then our white one, and our winged. Boom. All right, so now we got that done. Now we gotta go find something cool for a map. And then, like I said, I like to use 2-minute tabletop unless I can't find anything that works for me, because they do offer a lot of their stuff for free. Or you can donate. I personally can't donate right now, but I might donate this time. I can't do it on screen, but we'll see. Let's see if we can find an airship. Preferably one that's crashed. Inside the download, 44 airship assets. Oh. This might be what I go with, but let me see if I can find an airship crash. Airship crash. It's not looking like I'm gonna. Here's that glowing cavern you guys saw from before. I paid for some of them. Yeah, let's just go with the airship package. Actually, let's do this on... Actually, I'm gonna do it on a different capture, so hold on. Not that I don't trust you guys, but airships and assets. So to get on the 2-minute tabletop, all you have to do is go to 2minutetabletop.com, and that's easy enough. They're amazing. I can't speak enough to the amazing things that they're doing over there. Okay. Except when their website doesn't work. If I can get it to open. Ah, there we go. I got it finally. Let me change what you guys are looking at so you're not just looking at that. Actually, let's just go back to my pretty face over here. All right. See if I can pull everything up here. I might even try to make my own custom thing. We'll see. I might be able to take some of the stuff that these guys have and then maybe change it out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, here we go. So it's just like the airship pictures, by the looks of it. So I'm gonna have to go searching around, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I can understand why they would like that. Okay. I see. Yeah, I'm gonna go search around. Let's go find something on Google. But if you guys have any questions, make sure you throw them in the chat. And if you're not following the stream on, if you're not following the stream on Twitch, please do. It really helps just gain the kind of, momentum of everything going on here. And if you're not following on YouTube yet, make sure you do. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, all those fun things. Got to do a little ad plug here every once in a while, right? All right, so let's see if we can find a crashed airship battle map. Go to images. Looks like a Reddit user here tried it. See what they got. Not bad. Got the side of the airship there. Some things are running out of it. Now, the only problem is with mine is that I need it to be in a nice tundra, so that probably ain't gonna work for me. My first ever battle map. No, that's not what I want either. This one looks like more promising. I mean, we've got a crashed airship here. I just don't like the art style, personally. I do like it, though. It's a nice one. Elemental airship. Some good ones here and there. Let me see what we can find. It's tough, because, like, I'm looking for a very specific kind of thing. I guess it doesn't technically have to be an airship, but I would like it to be an airship. This one looks interesting. I could say this was an airship. See what it looks like. Looks like it's from Pinterest. Oh, it's just gonna give me all this stuff. Okay, well, that's not really what I want either, is it? There's some good maps over here, though. I like these. Nope, all right, thanks, Pinterest. Nope, get out of here. We have a steampunk airship here from Pinterest. Looks like it has a hex grid on it. We could probably put that in our frozen tundra, but we gotta make it big enough. That's the only tricky part. Actually, some of these look like the ones that we just saw in 2-minute tabletop. In fact, I think they are. I don't like that. That's mean. Okay, so I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna recopy this map again. We're gonna make another one, but then we're gonna put an airship on it somewhere else, and so it's not all busy here. So let's get to the background layer. Let's click on it. I want to copy this. Make another page. Come back here. If you guys have a name for the airship, I'd be more than happy to take it from you. Love to have a name for this airship. And I'll even put it on here. Not that my players will ever really know what it is, but always good to have. And let's move this where it should be. And then let's... Oh, it's already on the map layer, I think. Yep. Okay, so now we can go to... Let's make this map layer a little bit more obvious. Opacity. Let's bring this up. Not bad. Let's do one more. Do a little bit more. Just for my player characters to not have to worry about it. And I think I'm going to change the color. It's a little light. That's a little too dark. But we'll bring the opacity down again. Maybe a little more. Alright. I will enable Fog of War, I think, on this map, because I'm going to put in that